Welcome to Documents to Sleep. Tonight we're going to descend slowly, gently, into one of the oldest and most fascinating mysteries humanity has ever imagined. A theory that challenges everything we think we know about our planet. A theory that whispers, what if Earth isn't solid, but hollow? Take a deep breath. Close your eyes if you like. And imagine yourself standing on a quiet plain at dusk, the air calm, the ground steady beneath your feet. The Earth feels so vast, so permanent. But what if just below the surface there was another world, a hidden realm, untouched by sunlight and yet glowing with its own light? For centuries, dreamers, explorers, and scientists have wondered what lies beneath our feet. They've peered into caverns, chased legends, followed strange readings from compasses and maps, and even proposed that beneath the crust of our planet lies another sun, and perhaps even another civilization. The Hollow Earth Theory. A story of curiosity, science, faith, and myth, blended into one of the most enduring mysteries of all time. Let's begin. Imagine peeling away the layers of the Earth. First the thin crust, the layer on which continents drift and mountains rise. Then the mantle, dense and molten, its heat rising upward in slow waves that shape the world above. And then, deeper still. Scientists tell us that the core is solid iron and nickel compressed by unimaginable pressure. But what if it is? What if that core, instead of being solid, is an open space, a hollow? Inside that vast hollow, imagine another sun, a soft, glowing orb floating in the center of the planet, illuminating oceans, mountains, and forests of another world entirely. A mirror Earth hidden inside our own. This idea isn't just fantasy. It was once taken seriously by explorers, scientists, and writers. In the 17th century, the astronomer Edmund Halley, best known for the comet that bears his name, proposed that the Earth was composed of concentric shells, perhaps even inhabited. He believed strange compass readings and magnetic anomalies might be explained if there were inner spheres rotating independently beneath our surface. Halley's theory was bold, but it inspired others. Over the centuries, the hollow Earth became a canvas for imagination. Some imagined vast subterranean oceans. Others saw luminous skies and lost civilizations. Writers like Jules Verne and Edgar Rice Burroughs turned these ideas into entire worlds of fiction. But others, explorers and mystics, believed the stories were true. They claimed that deep beneath the poles lay great openings, gateways to the inner Earth. Portals that, once entered, could never be returned from. Pause for a moment. Feel the stillness beneath you, the slow hum of the Earth. Even now, the crust beneath us isn't silent. It shifts, vibrates, and breathes. Deep tunnels and caverns extend for miles, caves so vast they could hold entire cities. And in these hidden depths, humans have found life thriving in darkness. Blind fish, glowing fungi, entire ecosystems powered not by sunlight, but by the Earth's own heat. So is it really so impossible to imagine more? The hollow Earth theory may not fit the maps we know, but it fits something deeper, our instinct to wonder, our need to believe that the world still holds secrets too large to grasp. And perhaps one of those secrets is still below us, waiting, quiet, eternal. In this journey, we'll explore that possibility, from ancient myths to modern science, from whispered legends to polar expeditions. You'll hear about cities of light said to exist inside the Earth, about explorers who vanished seeking them, and about the strange, persistent stories that seem to refuse to die. The truth, whatever it may be, begins here with a single question. What lies beneath our feet? Let's go deeper. Before there were theories, before there were maps, satellites, and seismic charts, there were stories. Stories told by firelight, whispered through caves, carved into stone, carried through centuries. Stories that spoke of another world beneath our own. A world of light, warmth, and ancient wisdom. From the frozen lands of the north to the temples of Asia, from tribal chants to sacred scriptures, the idea of a hidden inner earth echoes through nearly every ancient culture on the planet. Why? Why did people, separated by oceans and millennia, share the same vision of a world below, inhabited by beings of light, where life never ends? Coincidence? Or memory? Let's go back. Long before modern science, our ancestors imagined the earth as a living being, breathing, pulsing, layered with mystery. To them, mountains were not just rock, they were bones. Rivers were veins. And deep within, at the heart of the world, was the source of life itself. In ancient Buddhist texts, there are stories of Agartha, a vast kingdom said to lie beneath the Himalayas. It was described as a paradise of peace and knowledge, ruled by beings of immense wisdom who watch over humanity from below. In some versions, Agartha is illuminated by a soft internal sun, the very soul of the planet. Travelers who claim to have found its entrances said they saw golden cities, glowing crystals, and rivers of pure energy flowing through subterranean caverns. The air, they said, shimmered like morning mist. One explorer wrote, "I felt as though the earth itself was alive, and I had stepped into its beating heart." In Hindu tradition, there is also Shambhala, a hidden kingdom beneath the mountains, inaccessible to the ordinary. It is said to be the dwelling of enlightened beings, protectors of spiritual truth, guiding humanity through invisible hands. Some say Shambhala and Agartha are one and the same, two names for the same sacred world beneath our feet. But these stories aren't confined to Asia. Far to the north, in the icy lands of the Norse, legends tell of Yggdrasil, the world tree. Its roots, they said, reach deep into hidden realms, one of which was called Svartalfheimr, the world of beings who lived underground, masters of craft and stone. And even deeper still, lay Niflheim, the shadowed world beneath the earth, where the ancient forces of creation slumber. In Greek mythology, the underworld wasn't just a place of death, it was also a mirror of the surface, a vast, hidden reflection filled with rivers, light, and its own geography. The Greeks believed that the entrance to this world could be found in physical places, caves, chasms, deep lakes. Some of those places, like the Cave of Tainaran or Lake Avernus, are real locations that still inspire awe today. In Central America, the Maya spoke of Xibalba, the place of fear, a realm below the earth ruled by gods of transformation and rebirth. But even in those dark stories, there was light. The journey to Xibalba was one of courage and wisdom, leading to enlightenment and renewal. In the American North, the Cherokee, the Hopi, and other indigenous nations told of ancestors who once lived inside the earth. According to these traditions, humankind originally emerged from subterranean worlds after cataclysmic events, floods, fires, or great winters. The Hopi describe how the people of the first world lived in vast caverns, guided by spirit beings called the Ant People, who helped them survive when the surface was uninhabitable. And when the time was right, the people were led upward through openings in the earth to begin anew on the surface. Even the ancient Celts believed that beneath hills and mounds were entire kingdoms, the realms of the Tuatha De Danann, shining beings who retreated below ground to escape human conquest, where they built golden cities and halls of light. The pattern repeats across continents, across languages, across ages. A hidden world, a luminous realm, a gateway between what is known and what is unseen. Pause for a moment. Imagine it beneath your feet, the pulse of a second world, glowing softly like an ember under ashes. Perhaps the myths were not only metaphors, but memories. When early explorers and mystics heard these stories, they began to wonder if there might be something literal in them, a truth buried beneath centuries of symbolism. If so many ancient cultures spoke of an inner world, Could they have been describing the same place from different perspectives? Some claimed that entrances to this world were not lost, only hidden. They pointed to great openings said to exist at the North and South Poles, at the base of Mount Shasta in California, beneath the Tibetan Plateau, or even under the Amazon rainforest. A network of gateways leading to the hollow interior. In 1947, the myth found new life. An American admiral named Richard E. Byard led an expedition over the North Pole. According to later interpretations of his journals, though debated and disputed, Byard reported seeing lush greenery, rivers, and even mammoth-like creatures below the ice. Whether the account was truth, misinterpretation, or deliberate myth, it reignited the belief that our planet might be more than it seems. But the idea wasn't born in modern times, it was ancient. In every tradition, there is a recurring theme, a world below that mirrors our own, often inhabited by wiser or more evolved beings. Sometimes they are guardians, sometimes teachers, sometimes they are simply silent watchers. And then there's the light. Always there is light. The Buddhists spoke of the inner sun. The Norse told of luminous caverns. The Hopi described glowing stones that lit entire chambers. Where did this imagery come from? Deep within the earth, sunlight does not reach. Yet, even in total darkness, life finds a way to shine through bioluminescence, through crystals that refract and glow, through energy radiating from the planet's own heat. It's as if the myths anticipated what we now know, that even in the deepest darkness, there is light. So maybe the ancient storytellers weren't wrong, just poetic. Maybe their glowing inner worlds weren't fantasy, but the symbolic memory of a deeper truth, that life, warmth, and wisdom often dwell beneath the surface. Pause again. Let your thoughts drift downward deeper into the earth, past roots, stone, and soil. Picture vast caverns shimmering with light, silent lakes reflecting unseen suns, gentle voices echoing through tunnels older than human time. Whether myth or metaphor, these stories remind us of something profound. That mystery doesn't always lie among the stars. Sometimes, it's right beneath our feet. As civilizations rose and fell, these legends persisted, evolving, merging, spreading through explorers' tales, philosophers' writings, and esoteric teachings. By the time the age of exploration dawned, the idea of a hollow world was no longer just myth, it was becoming hypothesis. And that's where our next chapter begins. For centuries, the earth had been wrapped in myth and mystery, a breathing being, alive from within. But as human knowledge expanded, the myths began to shift into something new, an idea that was not only mystical but scientific. The question was no longer what spirits dwell below, but what structure lies beneath our feet. In the 17th century, a quiet revolution in thought was taking place. Astronomers, mathematicians, and explorers were beginning to map the heavens and the earth with new precision. They could predict the motion of planets, measure the pull of gravity, and yet, the earth itself remained in many ways a mystery. One of the first men to suggest that our planet might be hollow was Edmund Halley, the English astronomer who charted the path of the comet that bears his name. Halley was a man of reason, a scientist of the Enlightenment, but he also had imagination, the kind of curiosity that bridges observation and wonder. In 1692, Halley published a theory that startled his peers. He proposed that the Earth was not a single solid sphere, but rather a series of nested shells, like a Russian doll, each layer capable of rotating independently. According to Halley, these shells were separated by luminous atmospheres, possibly inhabited, and perhaps even responsible for the Earth's magnetic field. He suggested that strange variations in compass readings, the kind sailors reported during long sea voyages, could be explained if the magnetic poles were shifting due to movement of these inner shells. It was a bold idea, radical for its time. Halley's model imagined three concentric spheres within the Earth, each with its own magnetic properties, perhaps each even with its own life. Though his colleagues dismissed it as speculative, Halley's theory had struck a chord. It was the first time a respected scientist had suggested that the Earth's interior might not be a single mass of molten rock, but a structured, layered world, perhaps even a habitable one. His vision would inspire thinkers for centuries. As the Enlightenment gave way to the age of exploration, new instruments, maps, and expeditions began to reveal more about the planet's surface, but very little about what lay beneath. The deeper scientists tried to dig, the more mysterious it became. In the early 1800s, an American Army officer and visionary named John Cleves Sims Jr. took Halley's idea one step further. Sims was not an astronomer, nor a geologist, but he had imagination, the kind that thrives at the edge of science and wonder. He declared, publicly and with conviction, "I declare the Earth is hollow and habitable within, containing a number of concentric spheres, and that it is open at the poles 12 or 16 degrees. He even sent letters to universities, scientists, and governments, urging them to sponsor expeditions to the North Pole to find the great openings. To Sims, the Earth was not solid. It was a vast shell with entrances at both poles, leading into a world bathed in perpetual light from an inner sun. Most of his contemporaries laughed. Some dismissed him as eccentric, but others were intrigued. In time, Sims' ideas gathered followers, scientists, poets, and explorers who believed his polar openings could explain mysteries from ancient myths to strange Arctic phenomena. In 1822, the U.S. Congress even received a petition to fund an expedition to the poles to test Sims' theory. Though it was rejected, the idea captured the public imagination. Newspapers and pamphlets began to publish illustrations of a hollow planet, the crust depicted as a shell, the polar openings as glowing gateways into an inner world of lush forests and gentle light. Writers saw opportunity. Philosophers saw symbolism, and ordinary people saw wonder. By the late 19th century, the hollow Earth had evolved from scientific theory to cultural fascination. It became the setting for adventure novels, spiritual writings, and even early science fiction. The French author Jules Verne, in his famous novel Journey to the Center of the Earth, 1864, imagined explorers descending into volcanic tunnels that led to a prehistoric world deep inside the planet, complete with oceans, clouds, and living creatures from ancient times. Verne's work, though fiction, was based on the scientific and speculative writings of his era. And in blending science with imagination, he helped cement the hollow Earth in popular consciousness. Not long after, in 1914, Edgar Rice Burroughs, creator of Tarzan, published At the Earth's Core, describing an entire civilization called Pellucidar that existed inside the planet, lit by a central sun and inhabited by intelligent beings. What's fascinating is that these works of fiction often echoed ancient legends almost perfectly. The authors may have seen themselves as storytellers, yet they were drawing from the same collective imagery: inner suns, hidden realms, civilizations below. As the 19th century progressed, scientists tried to prove or disprove the theory through observation. They studied the Earth's gravity, the movement of seismic waves, the curvature of its magnetic field. Each discovery seemed to suggest a solid planet, and yet the public imagination refused to let go of the hollow. The reason was simple: science could not yet see the Earth's core. It was, and still is, completely unreachable. Every fact we know about the center of our planet is inferred, derived from calculations, from waves and densities, not direct observation. So in the 1800s, when the world was still full of blank spaces on the map, the hollow Earth remained plausible, a final mystery in a world that was rapidly being mapped and measured. Some scientists began to ask another question. If life exists in the ocean depths, where sunlight never reaches, why couldn't it exist deep within the Earth? By the early 1900s, explorers and spiritualists began merging the scientific theory with metaphysical belief. Writers such as William Reed and Marshall B. Gardner published works asserting that not only was the Earth hollow, but that it housed advanced civilizations, older, wiser, and hidden from humanity for our own protection. Gardner's 1913 book, A Journey to the Earth's Interior, proposed that the planet's inner sun provided eternal daylight and a stable climate for its inhabitants. He even attempted to calculate the size of the openings at the poles, around 1,400 miles across, large enough to be visible from space, if only one could look down at the right angle. And then, in 1922, Admiral Richard E. Byad's polar expeditions reignited the story once more. Though most historians agree Byad never claimed to find a hole in the Earth, the legend grew from whispers and misinterpretations. Tales spread of lost diaries, secret flights, and encounters with lush lands and ancient cities beyond the poles. By mid-century, the hollow Earth theory had become a blend of science, folklore, and conspiracy, a reflection not only of what we knew, but of what we wanted to believe. Even as seismic science advanced, showing that earthquakes sent waves through a dense, layered planet, there remained a fascination with the unknown. Because deep down, the hollow Earth wasn't just about geology. It was about mystery. It was about the possibility that our planet, and perhaps our entire reality, is not what it seems. It's a theory that bridges logic and longing, that allows science to dream again, that whispers there is more. Take a moment. Imagine standing on the rim of a polar expanse, an endless plain of ice and wind. The compass in your hand trembles, the needle spinning uncertainly. The light above seems to shift, as if bending toward the horizon. And there in the distance, a faint, impossible glow, a light that shouldn't exist. Would you walk toward it? The hollow Earth theory was born not from ignorance, but from imagination, the human desire to look beyond the surface. And while science has moved on, the dream endures, evolving with every age, taking new forms in new minds. It's not just a question of what lies below. It's a question of how deep our curiosity runs. And that curiosity will lead us next into the modern world, a place where satellites, scientists, and secret expeditions converge. A place where the hollow Earth theory is reborn in conspiracy, in mystery, and in whispers of hidden truth. The 20th century brought machines, satellites, and data, yet the mystery of the Earth's interior never quite faded. Instead of extinguishing the hollow Earth idea, technology gave it new forms, new rumors, and new believers. After the age of explorers came the age of secrecy. Governments guarded their discoveries, expeditions vanished into the white silence of the poles, and strange reports filtered through the fog of classified files. To some, the unknown beneath our feet became more than a curiosity. It became a secret, a truth too large for the surface world to hold. Imagine, for a moment, that you are drifting high above the planet in the earliest days of flight. The Arctic stretches below, endless ice, the compass trembling in your hand. There, far on the horizon, the sky glows with a soft emerald shimmer. No one can explain it. No aurora, no storm, only light, as if something within the earth were breathing outward. It was in this world of wonder and war that stories began to gather around one name, Admiral Richard E. Byad. Byad was a decorated American explorer, a man of discipline and science. He led flights over both poles, mapping regions that had never been seen by human eyes. But after his 1947 expedition to the Arctic, whispers began to spread. Accounts appeared in obscure magazines and self-published journals, claiming that Bayat had flown beyond the pole, not over it, but into it. According to the legend, he described lush green lands where there should have been only ice. He saw rivers and forests, even animals resembling prehistoric creatures. Some claimed he encountered advanced beings who warned humanity to abandon war and seek peace. Others said his logbook was seized, his discovery silenced. Mainstream historians insist the secret diary is a fabrication, an invention decades after his death. But for many, it became proof that governments knew more than they admitted, that entrances to another world existed and were being kept hidden. In the 1950s and 60s, as the Cold War tightened its grip on the planet, the hollow Earth theory transformed again. No longer a matter of geology, it became a mirror of fear, a symbol of hidden power beneath the surface. People spoke of secret bases under Antarctica, of Nazi expeditions seeking the gateway to Agartha, the fabled inner world of enlightenment and technology. Declassified documents showed that German submarines had indeed ventured south at the war's end, disappearing into the ice. What they found, or whether they found anything at all, remains unknown. As decades passed, the myth adapted to every new discovery. When satellites first mapped the poles, blurred photographs and missing frames became evidence of censorship. When seismologists studied the deep Earth, unexplained anomalies, zones where sound waves slowed or vanished, were reimagined as vast hollow chambers. Even NASA imagery was dissected frame by frame, searching for shadows that might reveal a hidden opening. But beneath the conspiracy and speculation lies something quieter, almost poetic. A persistent human intuition that there is more within the Earth than rock and molten iron. Science tells us that beneath our feet is a molten mantle, a liquid outer core, a solid inner heart of iron and nickel. Yet no probe has ever touched it, no drill has ever pierced more than a few miles of crust. We infer what lies below, but we do not see. That small gap between knowing and seeing is where imagination still breathes. Some modern researchers have tried to reinterpret the hollow Earth metaphorically. They suggest it may symbolize the unexplored interior of humanity itself, our subconscious, our collective memory, our yearning for connection to something ancient and buried. Others, however, take the theory literally, connecting it to UFO phenomena, lost civilizations, even interdimensional physics. In the 1970s, a wave of books and documentaries claimed that mysterious lights seen over polar regions were not alien craft from the stars, but from inside the Earth. A few even argued that what we call extraterrestrials are really intraterrestrials, beings from a civilization beneath the crust, surfacing only when necessary. These ideas found an eager audience. They offered an alternative cosmos, one where paradise wasn't in the heavens but below, hidden in eternal twilight. A world where the myths of every culture, from Shambhala to the Elysian fields, were not allegories but memories. Meanwhile, real scientists continued to explore. In 1970, the Soviet Union began drilling the Kola superdeep borehole, a narrow shaft on the Kola Peninsula that reached more than 12 kilometers, the deepest man-made hole on Earth. For years, the project pushed the limits of technology. But as it descended, instruments began to record strange sounds and unexpected heat. Temperatures reached 180 degrees Celsius, far higher than predicted. Rumors spread. Some said the scientists had heard voices, a low, murmuring echo from the depths. Others claimed they'd uncovered something that frightened them into silence. In reality, it was simply physics, but the story endured, feeding the myth once more. By the dawn of the 21st century, the Hollow Earth had become a digital legend. On the internet, entire communities formed, trading satellite images and testimony from supposed insiders. They spoke of tunnels beneath the Himalayas, of governments in contact with subterranean civilizations, of aircraft vanishing into the poles. Every anomaly, every unexplained magnetic reading became another piece of the puzzle. But beyond the speculation, something deeper persists. A feeling, a quiet sense that the planet itself is alive, not just as a metaphor, but as a being with breath and memory. Imagine, just for a moment, descending through the crust in an elevator of light. The surface fades, the air cools, pressure rises, then softens. Below you, vast caverns open, some filled with crystalline lakes, others glowing faintly from within. Gravity shifts. And then, emerging from the darkness, you see it, a sun inside the earth, hanging in silence, illuminating forests that have never known the wind. Whether it exists in stone or spirit, the image remains one of the most powerful in human imagination. It invites us to question, to dream, to wonder if the world we walk upon is only the outer skin of something infinitely more complex. Modern science continues to refine its models, mapping the deep mantle with seismic tomography, measuring minute variations in gravity from orbit. Each discovery seems to close the door a little tighter, and yet the myth remains unbroken. Perhaps because every layer of understanding uncovers another layer of mystery. Even in the strict language of physics, the Earth is dynamic, restless, and full of motion. We feel its heartbeat in the shifting of plates, in the slow drift of continents, in the pulse of magnetic fields that dance above us. Maybe that pulse is what ancient myths called the inner sun. Maybe the light within has always been metaphorical, a reminder that, like the planet, we are hollow spaces filled with energy, warmth, and unseen life. And so in every age, the Hollow Earth adapts. In the 21st century, it survives not in textbooks, but in art, literature, and quiet midnight conversations. It has become less a question of geology and more a meditation on mystery itself. For those who seek, the message is simple. The surface of the world is not the limit of reality. There are always deeper layers in the planet and in ourselves. Breathe slowly. Listen to the silence between your heartbeats. That rhythm you feel is the same that moves through the planet beneath you. Perhaps, after all, we've been part of the Hollow Earth all along. Take a deep breath. Feel the ground beneath you, solid, ancient, silent. Now imagine that this ground is only the ceiling of another world. For centuries, whispers have told of cities beneath the earth, illuminated not by sunlight, but by a soft internal glow, a golden radiance from the inner sun. These are the inner worlds, said to be home to civilizations far older than ours, wiser, more peaceful, and hidden from the noise of the surface. Legends call them by many names. Agartha, Shambhala, Patala, Eridu, the Inner Kingdom. Each name a doorway into a different tradition, Hindu, Buddhist, Nordic, Sumerian, yet all describing the same impossible vision, a vast world beneath our own, inhabited by beings of great power and serenity. The light of Agartha. The story of Agartha begins in the East. Long before modern maps or satellites, ancient Sanskrit texts described a network of tunnels and cities stretching beneath the Himalayas. There, it was said, lay the capital of a hidden realm, Agartha, ruled by the king of the world, a being of immense wisdom who guided the destinies of surface civilizations in silence. According to Tibetan lamas, Agartha was not a myth but a spiritual reality, a realm existing in both matter and energy, accessible only to those of pure heart and mind. It was described as a place of eternal peace, where war and hunger were unknown, where technology and nature were one, and where luminous beings, neither human nor divine, tended to the inner light of the planet. Some traditions even say that the entrances to Agartha are hidden within sacred mountains like Mount Kailash in Tibet, Mount Shasta in California, and beneath the sands of the Gobi Desert. Travelers who ventured too far into these regions sometimes returned with strange stories, tunnels that breathed warm air, humming sounds from deep below, and lights that danced like auroras underground. In the late 19th century, European mystics such as Alexander Saint-Yves d'Alvatar revived the Agartha legend, blending Eastern teachings with Western esoteric philosophy. He claimed that Agartha was a real subterranean empire, with libraries of forgotten knowledge and a vast network of tunnels connecting every continent. Its citizens, he said, were the descendants of ancient civilizations destroyed by Cataclysm, Atlantis, Lemuria, and Mu, who fled beneath the surface before the Great Floods. According to Saint-Yves, Agartha was ruled by two principles: truth and harmony. Its leaders communicated telepathically with enlightened beings on the surface, subtly guiding human progress. But their presence could only be felt, never proven, a whisper beneath the hum of history. Shambhala, the heart of the inner world. Closely linked to Agartha is Shambhala, a sacred name found in Tibetan and Hindu cosmology. In the Kalachakra Tantra, Shambhala is described as a hidden kingdom of enlightenment, a place where the teachings of compassion and wisdom are preserved for the future of humanity. Some monks believe Shambhala is not physical, but vibrational, existing in a higher dimension that occasionally overlaps with ours. Others say it lies deep within the earth, protected by mountains and vast tunnels. In the 1920s, the Russian explorer Nicholas Roerich, accompanied by his wife Helena, set out across Central Asia, following the ancient legends. They claim to have heard stories from monks who spoke of Shambhala as both a place and a prophecy, a realm that would one day re-emerge when humanity was ready for its truth. Roerich wrote of seeing mysterious lights in the sky above the Himalayas, of hearing chants echoing from empty valleys, and of receiving relics said to have come from the King of the world. His accounts blurred the line between mysticism and documentation, between the seen and the unseen. To this day, Shambhala and Agartha are sometimes spoken of as two aspects of the same inner world, one spiritual, one physical, connected by tunnels of light and energy that flow beneath every continent. The world below in myth and memory. The belief in civilizations beneath the surface is not limited to Asia. It appears everywhere in the myths of Greece, Egypt, the Americas, and the North. The Greeks spoke of Hades, not merely as a place of death, but as an organized realm beneath the surface, ruled by order and law. The Egyptians believed in Juat, a vast subterranean world of stars and rivers where souls traveled toward rebirth. The Hopi of North America tell of a great flood that drove humanity underground, where they lived with the ant people until the surface was safe again. In Norse mythology, the world tree Yggdrasil connects realms above and below, from Asgard, the world of the gods, to Svartalfheim, the land of the dwarves, and Helheim, the shadowy domain beneath. These were not seen as metaphors, but as literal planes of existence, connected through hidden passages and roots of the earth itself. It seems that across cultures, the idea of an inner world is universal, not born from one belief, but from a shared memory. A collective whisper that perhaps, long ago, something or someone retreated beneath the surface and never returned. The guardians below. If Agartha and Shambhala are real, who lives there? Accounts vary. Some describe the masters beings of pure light, guiding humanity through telepathic influence. Others speak of a more physical race, tall, luminous, humanoid descendants of ancient Atlanteans who survived the fall of their empire by retreating below. These inner beings are said to live for thousands of years, harnessing the planet's magnetic energy and the power of the inner sun. In certain accounts, they observe the surface world quietly, appearing only during moments of great crisis. It's said that during World War II, monks in Tibet received messages from beneath the mountains, warning that humanity was nearing self-destruction. And in times of global transition, earthquakes, pole shifts, changes in consciousness, they send dreams to the surface, subtle waves of intuition urging balance. Skeptics, of course, dismiss these tales as allegories. Yet others see them as fragments of an ancient truth, that beneath the world's crust exists a continuity of civilization, the memory of humanity's forgotten beginnings. The tunnels and entrances. If there truly is a world beneath us, where are its gateways? Throughout history, certain locations have been marked as portals, places where energy feels different, compasses spin, and myths converge. Mountains are common, sacred, unyielding, ancient. Mount Shasta in California is said to conceal tunnels leading to Telos, a Lemurian city of crystal light. The Mato Grosso region of Brazil has legends of tunnels guarded by luminous beings. The Himalayas, the Gobi Desert, the Andes, all are said to hide openings that breathe warm air even in the coldest seasons. There are even claims that the poles themselves, north and south, house immense openings that lead inward. Early maps from the 17th and 18th centuries sometimes depicted these with mysterious circular voids. Whether errors or intentional symbols, they fueled centuries of speculation. In every age, explorers have sought these doors. Some returned with tales too strange to believe, glowing caverns, underground seas, and ruins carved from unknown metals. Others never returned at all. The inner sun and the pulse of the planet. One of the most captivating elements of the Hollow Earth legend is the inner sun, a radiant sphere suspended in the planet's center. According to the myth, it provides perpetual daylight to the inner world, sustaining lush forests, rivers, and entire civilizations. Some describe it as a miniature star, others as an energy core, a crystalline heart that resonates with frequencies of life. Its light is said to be soft, golden, nourishing, not burning like the surface sun, but awakening, harmonic. Modern esoteric thought often reinterprets this symbol, the inner sun as the soul of the planet, the source of magnetic and spiritual energy that sustains all life. Every heartbeat, every tremor, every aurora is said to be a pulse from this inner source, a reminder that the earth is alive, conscious, and interconnected. For those who meditate upon this vision, the hollow earth becomes less a place to find and more a state of awareness. A realization that what we call below is not beneath us but within us. Echoes of the hidden kingdom. Every so often, someone claims to have seen it. A hiker who vanishes in a cave for days and returns changed, quiet, peaceful, eyes full of light. A pilot who flies over the poles and sees colors where there should be only white. A miner who hears voices deep in the rock, singing in tones no language can reproduce. Are these hallucinations, stress, or glimpses of something else, echoes from a world that touches ours only in dreams? It may never be proven, and perhaps it's not meant to be. Because the legend of the inner worlds is not just about what lies below the surface, it's about what lies beyond belief. It invites us to imagine a civilization that lives not in conflict, but in harmony, one that watched us rise and fall, waiting for the day when we remember where we came from. So maybe the entrances aren't carved in stone or ice. Maybe they are within, in the stillness between breaths, in the deep places of memory that whisper of a world we once knew. Close your eyes for a moment. Listen. Can you hear it? That low hum, steady and rhythmic beneath everything. The pulse of the planet. The heartbeat of Agartha. The hollow earth theory has lasted for centuries. Empires have risen and fallen, religions have changed, languages have evolved, and still, the idea remains. Why? Perhaps because it touches something older than memory. Something inside us that still looks at the world with the eyes of wonder, whispering, "What if there's more?" From the moment humans first stood beneath the night sky, we have asked two questions. What lies above and what lies below? The stars became gods. The underworld became mystery. Heaven and earth were never enough. There had to be something beyond them, something hidden, something sacred. When we speak of the hollow earth, we are not only describing geography. We are describing longing, the symbol of descent. In every culture, descent has meaning. To go down is to seek truth. To enter the cave, the tomb, the depths, this is to confront the unknown, to meet the shadow, to find the light within darkness. From the Epic of Gilgamesh to Dante's Inferno, the hero's path always leads downward before it rises again. The hollow earth is that descent made literal, a world beneath the world, where transformation waits. In the modern age, we explore outer space. But in myth, the true journey was always inward. Downward, through layers of stone, fear, memory. The hollow earth reminds us that enlightenment often hides in the deepest dark. When people imagine the inner sun, the glowing orb at the planet's heart, they are not picturing geology. They are picturing awakening. The light within shadow. The self within silence. The need for hidden worlds. Psychologists might call it the archetype of the hidden kingdom, the place of refuge and perfection that exists beyond reach. It's the Garden of Eden after exile, Atlantis after the flood, Shangri-La beyond the snow. It represents the possibility that harmony still exists somewhere, untouched by the noise of civilization. When we grow tired of war, of division, of endless surface conflict, our imagination descends. It dreams of a world where balance was never lost. The hollow earth becomes a mirror of that dream, a cosmic sanctuary beneath the chaos. In this way, belief is not delusion. It's medicine, a way for the human spirit to keep hope alive when logic offers only limits. Even in a world mapped by satellites, we still need mystery. Because without it, wonder dies, and with it, a part of what makes us human. The science of belief. In recent decades, scientists studying the psychology of belief have discovered something remarkable. The human brain responds to mystery the same way it responds to beauty. Uncertainty activates the same networks as art, music, and love. The unknown is not a flaw in understanding, it's a source of meaning. When we face something we cannot explain, a light in the sky, a sound beneath the earth, our mind seeks a story. The story doesn't need to be factual. It needs to be comforting. It gives chaos a pattern, randomness a rhythm. The hollow earth is one of humanity's oldest patterns. It says there is more beneath the surface. And that message applies to everything, not just to the planet, but to ourselves, our emotions, our consciousness. We are layered beings. Outer life, inner life, core self, crust, mantle, heart. Perhaps the theory endures because it reflects us. Between science and myth. Science digs downward with instruments. Myth digs downward with imagination. Between them lies a narrow corridor, a tunnel of mystery that connects knowledge and wonder. Every time science declares a mystery solved, imagination digs deeper. When geology mapped the crust, myth went to the mantle. When seismology mapped the mantle, myth went to the core. And perhaps one day, when every atom is known, we will still ask, what lies within the knowing itself? The hollow earth, then, is not a failure of science, it's a companion to it. It keeps curiosity alive. It keeps the story going. The dream beneath the noise. Listen for a moment to the quiet around you. No machines, no news, just the faint hum of the world. That sound, if you truly hear it, feels alive. A vibration that moves through the floor, through your bones, through everything that exists. It's easy to imagine that hum as the voice of the inner world. A reminder that life doesn't end at the surface. There is motion, warmth, depth unseen but real. Ancient mystics said that the earth is alive, that it breathes slowly, once every few thousand years. Science agrees in its own way. Continents drift, poles shift, magma circulates like blood. Different language, same truth. The planet is not solid death, it's living motion. To believe in a hollow earth is, in a way, to believe that life is infinite. That beneath endings there are beginnings. Beneath extinction, renewal. Beneath the noise, silence, and within silence, song. The inner mirror. What we search for below the earth may simply be what we've buried inside ourselves. Our fear, our wonder, our lost innocence. The caves and tunnels of the mind are no less real than those of stone. Meditation teachers speak of descending into the heart. Psychologists speak of shadow work. Artists speak of digging deep. Different names, same motion, downward, inward toward the hidden core. When you imagine Agartha, when you picture the inner sun glowing softly within the planet, you are visualizing the same light that lives within your own consciousness. The awareness that shines even in the darkest moments. The hollow earth is the inner self of the world. And perhaps when we finally learn to listen to it, we'll learn to listen to each other. Between sleep and knowing, night is the perfect time to think about hidden worlds. When the surface quiets, when cities go dark, when even thoughts begin to slow, you can almost feel the hum beneath everything. The slow turning of the planet. The gentle breath of stone. As you drift between wakefulness and sleep, your imagination begins to move, not upward but downward, falling softly through layers of memory and dream. You pass through forests that glow in perpetual twilight, oceans that shimmer with internal light, cities that hum with calm energy. No fear, no time, only stillness. This is the journey inward, the descent into the earth of the mind. Maybe that's what the hollow earth theory has always been. A map not of the planet, but of consciousness. An invitation to descend, to rest, to remember. The eternal pulse. In the end, every theory, every myth, every map returns to the same sound. The heartbeat of the world. It is said that if you lie still enough, you can feel it. A pulse deep in the stone, faint but steady. Maybe it's seismic motion. Maybe it's something else. Whatever it is, it reminds us that we are not separate from the earth. We are the earth, walking, breathing, dreaming through itself. And maybe, just maybe, somewhere beneath the crust, a real light still burns. The ancient heart of the planet. The soul of everything that ever lived. To believe in the hollow earth is to believe that the story never ends. That even when the surface is mapped and measured, there will always be depth. A world below. Waiting. So tonight, as your thoughts begin to fade, as the hum of the world becomes your own heartbeat, let yourself drift. Downward. Softly. Through stone, through shadow, through silence, until you reach that quiet inner sun, the one that never sets, the one that lives within every living thing. Good night, and welcome home. The notion of hidden worlds beneath our feet has fascinated humanity for centuries. The stories of subterranean civilizations, of cities and landscapes shielded from sunlight and hidden from human eyes, belong to a rich tapestry of myth, legend, and speculation. One of the most persistent of these narratives is that of a hollow earth, a concept suggesting that beneath the crust we tread upon lies a vast, unexplored interior, potentially housing life and even entire civilizations. In this segment, we will explore the historical origins of these ideas, their cultural significance, and the remarkable tales that have emerged from alleged encounters with this inner world. The earliest hints of an inner earth appear in mythological texts from diverse cultures. Ancient Hindu scriptures, for example, speak of Shambhala, a mystical kingdom hidden from ordinary human perception, where enlightened beings dwell. The notion of Agartha, another legendary inner realm, is similarly rooted in esoteric traditions, often described as a network of underground cities stretching beneath continents. In these tales, the subterranean world is not merely a geographical curiosity. It is a spiritual landscape, a place of knowledge, wisdom, and ultimate truth, shielded from the turmoil and corruption of the surface world. European fascination with hidden worlds can be traced back to the Renaissance, when explorers and thinkers began blending empirical observation with imaginative speculation. The idea that the Earth might be hollow, or contain vast caverns capable of sustaining life, emerged in scientific and pseudoscientific texts. One of the earliest modern proponents was Edmund Halley, the famed astronomer who hypothesized in the late 17th century that the Earth might consist of concentric shells. Halley suggested that these layers could contain atmospheres and even magnetic fields, a bold attempt to reconcile unexplained phenomena such as compass anomalies. Though speculative, his ideas planted the seed for centuries of debate about what lies beneath our feet. The 19th and early 20th centuries saw a surge in interest in the hollow Earth, fueled by explorers, writers, and occultists alike. John Cleves Sims Jr., an American Army officer, became one of the most vocal advocates of the theory, proposing that enormous openings at the poles provided access to inner realms. Sims' fervent lectures and writings inspired both serious inquiry and imaginative fiction, blurring the line between scientific hypothesis and adventure tale. In the same era, Jules Verne's classic novel Journey to the Center of the Earth captured the public imagination, blending geological knowledge with fantastical exploration, creating a cultural fascination with the idea that the inner Earth could be a realm of untold wonders. Among the most intriguing modern claims are those surrounding Admiral Richard E. Bayard, the famed American polar explorer. Bayard undertook several expeditions to the Arctic and Antarctic in the early 20th century, and later reports, though largely anecdotal and controversial, suggested that he might have encountered openings leading to the inner Earth. Some accounts, often circulated in fringe literature, describe Bayard's flights as reaching regions of temperate climate, where vegetation flourished and unknown peoples inhabited vast underground cities. Mainstream historians and scientists dispute these claims, emphasizing the lack of verifiable evidence, yet the stories persist, woven into the broader tapestry of Hollow Earth lore. They capture a sense of mystery and possibility that speaks to a deep human desire to explore the unknown. Central to many of these legends is the concept of an inner sun, a source of light and life hidden within the planet itself. Unlike our familiar sun, this inner luminescence is described as a perpetual, self-contained energy, capable of sustaining ecosystems entirely independent of surface conditions. In some esoteric interpretations, the inner sun is also symbolic, a representation of spiritual illumination, inner wisdom, and the hidden forces that guide both the physical and metaphysical realms. The idea that light can exist from within, rather than being solely received from without, offers a rich metaphorical lens through which to understand these subterranean narratives. The allure of the inner Earth is not purely fantastical. It touches on fundamental questions about the limits of human knowledge and the mysteries of our planet. What lies beyond the reach of our instruments and expeditions? How do myths and scientific inquiry intersect when confronting the unknown? Tales of Bayard, Agartha, and Shambhala challenge the rigid boundaries of geography, geology, and physics, encouraging both wonder and skepticism. They invite us to consider not only the physical structure of our planet, but the ways in which human imagination has sought to explore spaces unseen, both outwardly in the world and inwardly within the self. As we delve deeper into the legends and speculative narratives surrounding the Hollow Earth, it is crucial to examine the broader cultural and philosophical context that has allowed these ideas to endure. From the earliest mythologies to modern conspiracy theories, the concept of hidden worlds beneath our feet resonates with a fundamental human curiosity, the desire to find the unknown, to peer behind the veil of ordinary perception, and to discover realms that lie beyond the surface of everyday reality. This enduring fascination reflects both an imaginative impulse and a psychological drive to seek meaning in hidden places. In many Eastern traditions, the subterranean world is depicted not merely as a geographical curiosity, but as a spiritual sanctuary. Shambhala, for instance, is often described as a kingdom of enlightenment, where beings have attained profound wisdom and live in harmony with natural and cosmic laws. These descriptions suggest a dual function for the inner world. It is simultaneously a literal, physical realm and a metaphorical representation of higher states of consciousness. In this sense, tales of hidden cities and inner suns operate on two levels. They stimulate wonder about the physical unknown while also inviting reflection on inner, spiritual truths. Western esoteric traditions similarly embrace the concept of underground realms. Theosophists in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, for example, popularized the notion of Agartha, a network of subterranean cities inhabited by advanced civilizations. According to these teachings, Agartha serves as a repository of knowledge and spiritual guidance, accessible only to those attuned to higher truths. The inner sun, in this framework, becomes both a literal source of illumination and a symbol of inner enlightenment, suggesting that light, knowledge, and life may emanate from within rather than from external sources. Such interpretations highlight the interplay between physical exploration and metaphysical speculation, a theme central to the Hollow Earth narrative. The historical record of exploration also contributes to the mystique of the inner Earth. Admiral Richard E. Byard's polar expeditions, particularly those conducted in the 1920s and 1930s, are often cited as instances where the boundaries between myth and reported observation blur. While Byard's official logs and scientific reports focus on mapping, meteorology, and geological surveys, later accounts, primarily from secondary or fringe sources, allege that Byard encountered vast temperate regions beyond the polar ice, teeming with flora and fauna. Some narratives even describe encounters with technologically advanced subterranean civilizations. While these claims lack empirical verification, they continue to captivate imaginations, partly because they resonate with earlier myths and the human penchant for hidden worlds. Scientific inquiry, of course, has consistently challenged the feasibility of a hollow Earth. Geology, seismology, and physics provide compelling evidence that the planet consists of layers: a crust, a viscous mantle, a liquid outer core, and a solid inner core. The behavior of seismic waves, the distribution of mass, and gravitational measurements collectively refute the idea of large hollow cavities capable of sustaining life. Yet, despite these scientific conclusions, the hollow Earth hypothesis persists in popular culture. This persistence can be understood as a reflection of the symbolic and psychological dimensions of the myth. Stories of inner worlds satisfy a deep-seated desire for adventure, discovery, and the uncovering of hidden truths, offering an imaginative escape from the limits of known reality. The inner sun, a recurring motif in Hollow Earth legends, embodies a particularly rich symbolism. In speculative accounts, this sun is not a small fire but a luminous, life-sustaining force that illuminates vast subterranean landscapes. Vegetation grows, rivers flow, and entire ecosystems flourish under its glow, suggesting a self-contained microcosm of life. Beyond its literal interpretation, The inner sun functions metaphorically. It represents knowledge emerging from obscurity, consciousness arising from the depths, and the potential for enlightenment hidden beneath the surface of ordinary experience. In this sense, the inner sun is both a narrative device and a philosophical symbol, bridging the gap between imaginative storytelling and spiritual reflection. It is also worth exploring why the idea of hidden civilizations beneath the earth has such enduring appeal. Humans are natural explorers, driven to map the unknown and uncover what lies beyond immediate perception. The concept of a hidden world taps into primal instincts, fear of the unknown, fascination with secret knowledge, and the hope of discovering utopian societies untouched by surface conflicts. Moreover, the persistence of Hollow Earth narratives illustrates the interplay between scientific reasoning and imaginative speculation. Even as evidence accumulates against the literal existence of subterranean civilizations, the stories continue to thrive, suggesting that their value lies not solely in factual accuracy, but in the human need to imagine possibilities beyond conventional limits. Literature, film, and popular media have further cemented the Hollow Earth in collective imagination. Works ranging from Jules Verne's Journey to the Center of the Earth to modern science fiction and adventure novels draw on the motif of subterranean exploration, often blending scientific plausibility with fantastical elements. These stories reinforce the archetype of the hidden world and the inner sun, framing them as sites of discovery, peril, and enlightenment. By dramatizing the encounter with unknown civilizations, storytellers invite audiences to confront both the literal unknown of the physical world and the figurative unknown within human consciousness. The interplay between myth, exploration, and science also highlights an essential characteristic of human cognition: the capacity to hold multiple models of reality simultaneously. While the scientific understanding of Earth's structure is clear and rigorously validated, the imaginative possibility of hidden worlds endures. This duality allows humans to explore questions of existence, knowledge, and mystery in ways that transcend empirical limitations. In essence, the Hollow Earth functions as a cognitive and cultural laboratory, a space where curiosity, speculation, and creativity converge to generate meaning and wonder. The fascination with inner worlds is further amplified when considering the alleged interactions between surface dwellers and the hidden civilizations of the Hollow Earth. Tales of explorers, adventurers, and even military personnel encountering subterranean societies populate both historical anecdotes and modern fringe literature. Although mainstream science dismisses these claims due to a lack of verifiable evidence, they persist in the collective imagination because they tap into a deep-seated human longing for discovery and connection with unknown realms. One of the most captivating aspects of these narratives is the description of the civilizations themselves. Reports often depict highly advanced societies, with technologies or wisdom surpassing surface standards, harmonious social structures, and profound spiritual understanding. In some accounts, these subterranean beings are described as guides or mentors, offering insights into the nature of existence, morality, and the cosmos. The inner sun, in these contexts, is not merely a physical phenomenon, but a symbol of enlightenment, illuminating both the physical spaces they inhabit and the minds of those who encounter them. It is essential to understand that these narratives serve multiple purposes. On one level, they function as adventure stories, satisfying the human appetite for danger, exploration, and triumph over the unknown. On another level, they offer moral and philosophical lessons, often framed within the broader discourse of esotericism and spirituality. By imagining encounters with enlightened beings in hidden worlds, storytellers provide frameworks for thinking about the relationship between knowledge, ethics, and the hidden potentials within humanity. The subterranean civilizations become mirrors reflecting our aspirations, fears, and the eternal quest for understanding. The idea of an inner sun sustaining life within the Earth also intersects with scientific speculation, albeit indirectly. While geophysics confirms that no literal sun exists at the Earth's core, the planet's internal heat and geothermal energy are real phenomena that have inspired imaginative extrapolation. The concept of a self-contained luminescent source in legends may be understood metaphorically as an acknowledgement of these natural energies. Moreover, it reflects humanity's tendency to conceptualize unknown forces in terms of familiar phenomena, light, warmth, and vitality. In this sense, the inner sun is as much a product of imaginative reasoning as it is a reflection of observed natural principles. Historical accounts of polar expeditions further embellish these narratives. Beyond Admiral Byrd, numerous explorers have reported mysterious observations during journeys to the Arctic and Antarctic. These reports, ranging from unusual atmospheric conditions to sightings of unexplained landforms, have been interpreted in fringe literature as evidence of openings to the inner Earth. While mainstream science attributes these phenomena to natural climatic and geological variations, the stories endure because they evoke the thrill of possibility. The notion that hidden worlds remain to be discovered, untouched by human exploitation, and containing secrets that could transform our understanding of the Earth. It is also important to consider the psychological appeal of these tales. Hidden worlds represent the ultimate other, places that are at once alien and accessible, offering both wonder and the potential for self-discovery. The inner Earth becomes a metaphor for the unexplored regions of the human psyche, where latent potential, creativity, and wisdom reside. In this context, the inner sun symbolizes illumination, insight, and awakening, light emerging from within the depths, guiding the traveler both physically and spiritually. This dual reading enriches the narratives, allowing them to function simultaneously as adventure stories, spiritual allegories, and philosophical meditations. Modern interpretations continue to explore the hollow earth and inner sun motifs in both literary and visual media. Science fiction and fantasy frequently employ subterranean realms as settings for complex societies, lost civilizations, or hidden refuges. Video games, films, and graphic novels often depict intricate underground cities, luminous flora and fauna, and the mysterious glow of inner suns. These contemporary portrayals build on centuries of myth and speculation, demonstrating the enduring power of the concept to inspire creativity across cultural and technological contexts. The hollow earth, once relegated to fringe pseudoscience, now thrives in popular imagination as a symbol of mystery, possibility, and the enduring human desire to explore. The philosophical implications of the hollow earth concept extend beyond literature and entertainment. By imagining life and civilization beneath the surface, these narratives challenge our assumptions about knowledge, existence, and the limits of perception. They prompt us to question what is truly known versus what is presumed, reminding us that human understanding is always provisional and subject to revision. Even as modern science provides increasingly detailed models of the Earth's interior, the imaginative appeal of hidden worlds persists, highlighting the interplay between empirical investigation and the human capacity for wonder. Furthermore, the inner sun motif invites reflection on the nature of light and knowledge. Just as the inner Earth is imagined to harbor a source of illumination independent of the surface sun, human consciousness can be seen as containing its own inner light. The allegorical resonance is clear. Illumination, insight, and vitality may arise from within, independent of external sources. In this sense, the hollow earth becomes a mirror for self-exploration, inviting us to consider what hidden potential lies within each individual, awaiting discovery and expression. To understand the enduring fascination with lost civilizations beneath the earth, it is essential to examine how human imagination intertwines with exploration and the unknown. Historically, explorers who ventured into remote regions, polar landscapes, deep caves, and uncharted jungles, often reported phenomena that defied immediate explanation. While scientific investigation frequently provided rational accounts, these unexplained observations gave rise to speculation and myth. The idea of vast subterranean realms emerged as a natural extrapolation. If hidden lands exist in extreme or inaccessible regions, might there not also exist entire worlds beneath our feet? The stories of Agartha and Shambhala illustrate this point. Both names evoke not merely physical locations but spiritual and philosophical concepts. Agartha, in esoteric teachings, is depicted as a network of underground cities and tunnels stretching across continents. It is said to be inhabited by enlightened beings, guardians of ancient knowledge and advanced technologies. Shambhala, similarly, represents an idealized spiritual kingdom, a place where the laws of harmony, wisdom, and enlightenment are fully realized. The depiction of these subterranean worlds combines geography, mythology, and philosophy, demonstrating humanity's desire to merge the physical and metaphysical, to explore not only the earth but also the inner dimensions of existence. Admiral Richard E. Byard's expeditions to the Arctic and Antarctic remain central to modern Hollow Earth lore. Officially, Byard's missions focused on mapping uncharted territories, conducting meteorological research, and studying polar geology. Yet, anecdotal accounts circulating after his expeditions suggest that Byard may have encountered temperate regions and unknown civilizations within the poles. These stories, though unverifiable, align with earlier myths of hidden lands accessible only to the most daring or spiritually attuned explorers. They emphasize themes of discovery, courage, and the possibility that hidden truths lie beyond the reach of conventional observation. The inner sun concept adds a layer of symbolic richness to these narratives. Allegedly providing light and warmth to subterranean ecosystems, the inner sun serves as a metaphor for the hidden sources of energy, life, and consciousness. In speculative and esoteric literature, the inner sun is often linked to spiritual enlightenment, a guiding light that emanates from the deepest parts of the earth and, metaphorically, from within the human soul. This dual significance blurs the lines between physical and symbolic reality, suggesting that the search for inner civilizations mirrors humanity's quest for self-knowledge and inner illumination. Scientific scrutiny, however, challenges the literal existence of these realms. Geological and geophysical evidence indicates that the Earth is composed of a solid crust, a viscous mantle, a liquid outer core, and a solid inner core. Seismic studies demonstrate that waves travel through these layers in predictable ways, providing no indication of vast hollow spaces capable of sustaining ecosystems. Gravimetric data further confirm the Earth's density and internal structure, effectively disproving the feasibility of large, habitable subterranean cavities. Despite this, the Hollow Earth narrative persists, illustrating the power of myth and imagination to transcend empirical limitations. Cultural and psychological factors help explain why the Hollow Earth theory continues to resonate. Hidden worlds fulfill a fundamental human desire for exploration, adventure, and access to secret knowledge. They also provide a narrative framework for reflecting on philosophical and spiritual questions. What lies beyond the observable world? Are there realms where wisdom and harmony prevail uncorrupted by human conflict? The enduring appeal of these stories lies not in their literal truth, but in their capacity to inspire curiosity, wonder, and introspection. They act as a bridge between tangible reality and imaginative possibility. Literature has played a crucial role in perpetuating Hollow Earth ideas. From Jules Verne to modern fantasy and science fiction, authors have expanded upon the motif of hidden subterranean civilizations, incorporating elements of adventure, science, and philosophy. These narratives often depict the inner world as both a physical and spiritual realm, populated by advanced civilizations whose knowledge challenges surface assumptions. By doing so, literature reinforces the metaphorical dimensions of the inner earth, highlighting its role as a symbol of hidden potential, enlightenment, and the human drive to explore beyond conventional boundaries. Modern adaptations continue to explore these themes in diverse media, including film, video games, and graphic novels. Subterranean cities, inner suns, and advanced underground societies captivate audiences by combining the thrill of discovery with symbolic depth. These portrayals often emphasize ecological and social harmony, suggesting that inner worlds represent ideals of balance and sustainability. By presenting the Hollow Earth as a place of both adventure and moral reflection, contemporary narratives maintain the relevance of these myths in a technologically advanced and scientifically informed era. Finally, the Hollow Earth concept offers a compelling lens through which to examine the interaction between myth and empirical knowledge. While science provides rigorous explanations of the Earth's structure, the imaginative narrative of hidden civilizations endures because it addresses human needs beyond factual understanding. It allows for contemplation of philosophical, spiritual, and psychological dimensions of existence, reminding us that exploration is not only a matter of physical observation, but also of cognitive and emotional engagement with the unknown. The inner earth becomes both a literal and metaphorical landscape, inviting humanity to navigate the intersection of reality, imagination, and the eternal quest for knowledge. As the narrative of hidden civilizations within the earth evolves, it becomes increasingly evident that the legends are intertwined with human curiosity and the impulse to explore what lies beyond ordinary perception. Across cultures and centuries, myths of subterranean worlds, inner suns, and enlightened societies have persisted, demonstrating a remarkable continuity of imaginative engagement. These stories are not merely idle fancies. They reflect a profound engagement with existential questions, the nature of life, the possibility of hidden knowledge, and the relationship between the known and the unknown. In exploring Agartha and Shambhala, one encounters rich symbolic and philosophical layers. Agartha, often described as a vast network of tunnels and cities beneath the Earth's surface, represents an idealized vision of societal harmony, advanced knowledge, and spiritual attainment. Legends depict its inhabitants as custodians of wisdom, guardians of technologies, and beings of heightened consciousness. Shambhala, similarly, is portrayed as a kingdom of enlightenment, a spiritual refuge where individuals can cultivate understanding, compassion, and insight. These narratives suggest that subterranean worlds are not simply places to discover physically, but also realms to explore morally and spiritually, offering guidance for navigating the complexities of human existence. The connection between these myths and real-world exploration is particularly compelling in the context of early 20th century expeditions. Admiral Richard E. Byard's journeys to the polar regions, while documented in official reports as scientific and geographic missions, have become enshrined in the lore of Hollow Earth exploration. Allegations, often circulated in secondary sources, claim that Byard encountered regions of temperate climate, abundant vegetation, and even civilizations unknown to the surface world. Whether factual or fabricated, these stories reinforce the archetype of the explorer as a mediator between known and hidden realms, a figure who ventures into the unknown and returns with glimpses of extraordinary possibilities. The inner sun motif further enriches these narratives. Described as a luminous, life-sustaining force within the earth, the inner sun functions both as a literal source of energy in legend and as a metaphor for enlightenment and illumination. In mystical interpretations, the inner sun symbolizes knowledge emerging from obscurity, consciousness awakening from the depths, and the potential for life and wisdom hidden within the planet and within the human mind. The recurring image of a hidden light reflects a universal human aspiration, the hope that understanding and vitality may arise from within, independent of external forces, offering guidance and inspiration to those who seek it. Despite these compelling narratives, scientific evidence provides a clear understanding of the Earth's interior that contradicts the literal existence of hidden civilizations or inner suns. Geophysics, seismology, and gravitational studies demonstrate that the Earth consists of a layered structure: a solid crust, a viscous mantle, a liquid outer core, and a solid inner core. Seismic waves behave predictably as they traverse these layers, revealing no indication of vast hollow regions capable of sustaining life. Gravimetric and geodynamic analyses confirm the density and mass distribution of the planet, leaving little room for vast uncharted cavities. These findings underscore the discrepancy between myth and empirical observation, highlighting the role of imagination in shaping enduring legends. Yet the persistence of hollow Earth narratives is telling. Human beings are naturally drawn to stories of hidden realms, secret knowledge, and advanced civilizations. These narratives satisfy the instinct for exploration, the desire to encounter the unknown, and the hope of discovering truths beyond immediate perception. Moreover, they operate as psychological and philosophical tools, allowing individuals to engage with questions of morality, consciousness, and the nature of existence in imaginative and symbolic ways. By envisioning hidden worlds, we project both our curiosity and our aspirations, creating narratives that transcend literal interpretation and enter the realm of metaphor and allegory. Literature and art have played a critical role in sustaining the cultural resonance of these myths. From 19th-century adventure novels to contemporary fantasy and science fiction, writers have elaborated on subterranean worlds, inner suns, and hidden civilizations, blending imaginative speculation with reflections on human society and consciousness. Jules Verne's journey to the center of the Earth remains a seminal example, inspiring generations of readers to imagine what lies beyond the limits of observable reality. Modern adaptations in films, graphic novels, and video games continue this tradition, presenting complex underground societies, illuminated landscapes, and advanced civilizations in ways that both entertain and provoke reflection. The Hollow Earth narrative also functions as a cognitive and philosophical laboratory, exploring the relationship between knowledge, perception, and imagination. Even in the face of scientific refutation, the concept persists, suggesting that the stories themselves hold value beyond empirical validation. They invite us to consider how humans navigate the unknown, construct meaning from incomplete information, and engage with symbolic representations of truth. The subterranean worlds, inner suns, and advanced civilizations of legend act as mirrors, reflecting our aspirations, fears, and the enduring human drive to seek light and understanding in places unseen. Finally, the inner Earth narrative serves as an enduring metaphor for self-exploration and personal transformation. Just as the mythical inner worlds harbor light, life, and wisdom hidden beneath the surface, so too does the human psyche contain hidden potential, insight, and creativity awaiting discovery. The journey into the depths of the Earth parallels the inward journey of consciousness, where exploration, courage, and perseverance reveal the treasures of knowledge and understanding. In this sense, the Hollow Earth is not merely a geographical speculation, but a symbolic framework for understanding the relationship between the external and internal, the known and unknown, and the visible and hidden aspects of existence. The legend of hidden civilizations beneath the Earth does not exist in isolation. It is part of a broader tapestry of human storytelling that seeks to explore the boundaries between the known and the unknown. From ancient mythologies to modern speculative fiction, the idea of subterranean worlds serves as a narrative device that combines adventure, philosophical reflection, and spiritual inquiry. These stories allow humans to grapple with the mysteries of existence, providing imaginative landscapes where the laws of ordinary experience are expanded or transcended. Historical accounts of exploration have often provided fertile ground for these narratives. Polar expeditions, deep cave explorations, and journeys into remote or inaccessible regions have revealed unexpected phenomena that challenge conventional understanding. Early 20th century accounts of Admiral Richard E. Byard's expeditions are frequently cited as examples of such encounters. While official records focus on cartography, meteorology, and scientific observation, later interpretations, often amplified by speculative literature, suggest that Bayard may have glimpsed hidden regions of the Earth with temperate climates, unusual flora, and even unknown civilizations. These accounts, whether factual or mythical, emphasize the archetype of the explorer as a bridge between familiar reality and hidden worlds, a recurring theme in Hollow Earth narratives. The inner sun motif is central to these stories, allegedly providing perpetual light and warmth to subterranean ecosystems. It functions as both a literal and metaphorical concept. On a literal level, it represents the imagined source of energy sustaining life within the Earth. On a symbolic level, it embodies enlightenment, illumination, and the hidden forces of knowledge and consciousness. In esoteric traditions, the inner sun is often interpreted as a guiding principle, an emanation of life and awareness from the depths, revealing truths to those who seek understanding. This duality, physical and symbolic, enhances the richness of Hollow Earth narratives, enabling them to operate on multiple levels simultaneously. The persistence of Hollow Earth legends, despite extensive scientific evidence to the contrary, illustrates a fundamental aspect of human cognition. Humans are drawn to mystery and are motivated by curiosity about the unknown. The idea of hidden civilizations satisfies both intellectual and emotional needs. It encourages exploration, stimulates imagination, and provides a narrative framework for understanding complex questions about society, morality, and consciousness. These stories also fulfill a psychological function, offering a sense of wonder and possibility that contrasts with the predictability and constraints of empirical knowledge. Science provides a clear understanding of the Earth's structure, which challenges the literal interpretation of these legends. Geological and geophysical studies confirm that the Earth consists of multiple layers: the crust, the mantle, the liquid outer core, and the solid inner core. Seismic data reveal no evidence of vast hollow spaces capable of supporting complex ecosystems, while gravimetric measurements confirm the density distribution throughout the planet. The inner sun, as a literal source of light within the Earth, is therefore scientifically untenable. Yet, its metaphorical significance remains powerful, illustrating how imaginative concepts can convey meaning even when they defy empirical validation. Cultural transmission has played a critical role in preserving and evolving Hollow Earth narratives. Through literature, folklore, and oral storytelling, the motifs of subterranean civilizations and inner suns have been passed across generations and adapted to different cultural contexts. Jules Verne's Journey to the Center of the Earth exemplifies this process, transforming speculative geological ideas into a compelling adventure narrative that continues to inspire readers and creators. Modern adaptations in film, video games, and digital media have expanded these stories further, presenting richly imagined underground societies, luminescent landscapes, and technologically or spiritually advanced civilizations. These representations maintain the relevance of Hollow Earth myths while adapting them to contemporary cultural and technological frameworks. The philosophical implications of these narratives are equally profound. By imagining worlds hidden beneath the Earth's surface, humans are invited to consider the limits of perception, knowledge, and imagination. The Hollow Earth becomes a metaphorical space for exploring the interplay between what is known and what is possible, between empirical reality and imaginative speculation. In this context, the inner sun symbolizes not only life and illumination, but also the potential for insight, creativity, and self-realization. These narratives remind us that exploration is not only an external endeavor, but also an internal journey, revealing hidden dimensions of consciousness and understanding. Moreover, Hollow Earth stories resonate with a deep human desire to reconcile science, myth, and spirituality. While empirical evidence establishes the physical structure of the planet, myths of hidden civilizations provide a complementary framework for exploring questions of meaning, morality, and the nature of life. They demonstrate how narrative, symbolism, and imagination can coexist with scientific knowledge, offering a multidimensional approach to understanding existence. The inner sun, as both literal and metaphorical light, encapsulates this synthesis, illuminating hidden realms both within the earth and within the human mind. The quest to understand the Earth's interior has been a defining feature of human inquiry, blending curiosity, imagination, and rigorous scientific investigation. Unlike the legends of hidden civilizations and inner suns, this domain is governed by observable data, experimental methods, and empirical verification. The scientific approach to the Earth's structure begins with geophysics, seismology, and geology, disciplines that together provide a detailed picture of what lies beneath the planet's surface. Through careful observation, measurement, and modeling, scientists have revealed a complex and layered Earth, far different from the imagined hollow worlds of myth and speculation. At the heart of this inquiry is the study of seismic waves. When earthquakes occur, they generate vibrations that travel through the Earth, behaving differently depending on the material they encounter. Primary waves, or P waves, can move through solids, liquids, and gases, while secondary waves, or S waves, can only move through solids. By analyzing the speed, direction, and behavior of these waves, scientists can infer the composition and state of Earth's internal layers. This methodology has revealed that the Earth consists of a solid crust, a viscous mantle, a liquid outer core, and a solid inner core. The precision of these observations leaves no room for large hollow cavities capable of sustaining ecosystems, demonstrating the effectiveness of empirical science in demystifying long-standing speculative claims. Gravity and mass distribution offer further evidence. Gravimetric studies measure variations in the Earth's gravitational field, providing information about density and composition at different depths. These measurements consistently align with a solid, layered planet rather than a hollow one. Geodetic studies, which analyze the shape, rotation, and gravitational forces acting on the Earth, similarly support the model of a dense, stratified interior. Together, these scientific tools provide a comprehensive and verifiable understanding of the planet's inner structure, offering clarity where legend and imagination once reigned. While the scientific method provides a clear model of the Earth's interior, history reveals that human imagination often resists strict empirical boundaries. The hollow Earth hypothesis, despite being disproven by seismology and gravimetric studies, persisted well into the 20th century, and in some circles continues to capture the imagination today. This persistence highlights the interplay between speculation and science. Even when evidence contradicts a theory, the human mind seeks narratives that satisfy curiosity, moral reflection, or spiritual aspiration. The hollow Earth, with its inner sun and hidden civilizations, represents more than a physical hypothesis. It symbolizes the eternal human quest to uncover what lies beyond immediate perception. Throughout history, speculative theories about the Earth's interior spurred scientific inquiry, even if indirectly. Early proponents like Edmund Halley and John Cleves Sims Jr. proposed models that were not empirically accurate but stimulated discussion and debate. By challenging conventional assumptions, these thinkers encouraged subsequent generations to develop methods of verification, measurement, and analysis. In this sense, speculative ideas, even when incorrect, play a crucial role in scientific progress, acting as catalysts for innovation and deeper understanding. The tension between imaginative conjecture and rigorous observation thus becomes a driving force for exploration, both literal and intellectual. Modern science has also revealed fascinating truths about the Earth that, while not supporting hollow Earth theories, invite metaphorical reflection. For example, the existence of the Earth's molten outer core, generating a magnetic field, or the geothermal heat sustaining hydrothermal vent ecosystems, demonstrates that life and energy can persist in extreme and hidden conditions. These discoveries echo, in a symbolic sense, the imaginative vision of a luminous inner world. While there is no literal inner sun or subterranean civilizations, the idea of hidden sources of energy and life resonates with humanity's enduring fascination with the unseen and the mysterious. The study of the Earth's interior also highlights the limits of perception and human understanding. Despite sophisticated instruments and advanced models, vast portions of the planet remain inaccessible to direct observation. Deep mantle and core conditions must be inferred indirectly, requiring interpretation of seismic, gravitational, and magnetic data. This indirect approach illustrates an important philosophical point. Even in the most rigorously studied domains, uncertainty remains. The hollow Earth theory, though scientifically untenable, occupies a symbolic space within this tension, reminding us that the unknown often drives exploration, curiosity, and the imagination. Culturally, speculative theories about hidden worlds have left a lasting imprint, influencing literature, folklore, and media. The motifs of inner suns, subterranean civilizations, and secret realms continue to inspire storytelling across genres, from adventure novels to science fiction and fantasy. These narratives often blend scientific plausibility with imaginative extrapolation, offering audiences both excitement and reflection. They function as modern mythologies, helping humans process the tension between known and unknown, reality and possibility. The enduring appeal of these stories illustrates that human engagement with mystery is not purely intellectual. It is also emotional, aesthetic, and moral. The scientific rejection of the hollow Earth hypothesis emerged gradually, as empirical methods and technological advancements enabled a deeper understanding of the planet's interior. During the 19th century, the development of seismology provided a transformative tool. Earthquakes generate seismic waves that travel through the Earth, revealing its layered structure. By observing how these waves refract, reflect, or slow down in different materials, scientists were able to infer the existence of the crust, mantle, outer core, and inner core. Pioneering work by scientists such as Richard Dixon Oldham and Benno Gutenberg confirmed that the Earth is far from hollow, demonstrating that the inner regions consist of dense, molten, and solid materials rather than cavernous spaces. Geophysicists also relied on gravity measurements to challenge hollow Earth claims. Precise studies of gravitational anomalies revealed that Earth's mass distribution was consistent with a layered interior and inconsistent with the existence of large hollow voids. Density calculations, based on the planet's overall mass and volume, further confirmed that a hollow structure could not support Earth's observed gravitational field. These findings provided robust, reproducible evidence that reinforced the conclusions derived from seismic studies, gradually displacing speculative theories with empirical certainty. Despite these advances, the hollow Earth concept persisted in popular culture, fringe literature, and esoteric traditions. There are several reasons for this resilience. First, the idea is inherently captivating. It speaks to a desire for discovery, adventure, and hidden knowledge. Second, it resonates with spiritual and metaphysical narratives that envision inner realms as sites of wisdom and enlightenment. Third, the limitations of early scientific knowledge left gaps that imagination and anecdotal accounts could fill, particularly when explorers reported mysterious phenomena in extreme regions such as the Arctic and Antarctic. Collectively, these factors ensured that, even in the face of scientific evidence, the concept remained culturally vibrant. Modern interpretations of Earth's interior, while scientifically accurate, can also carry metaphorical significance. Discoveries such as hydrothermal vents, which support unique ecosystems independent of sunlight, or the convective currents driving plate tectonics, reveal that the planet harbors life-sustaining processes invisible to casual observation. While these findings do not validate hollow Earth legends, they echo the symbolic appeal of a hidden, self-sufficient inner world. This allows contemporary thinkers, writers, and artists to engage with the themes of inner life, energy, and mystery in ways that are scientifically informed yet metaphorically rich. The philosophical implications of these findings are profound. Science shows us that the Earth is not hollow, but the human imagination remains drawn to hidden possibilities. This duality highlights a central tension between knowledge and speculation. Empirical evidence constrains belief, yet imagination allows humans to explore possibilities beyond immediate observation. The hollow Earth theory, though empirically untenable, functions as a cultural and psychological mirror, reflecting the human need to reconcile curiosity with the limits of understanding. It illustrates how myth and speculation persist not despite science, but alongside it, each addressing different dimensions of human experience. Furthermore, the story of the hollow Earth underscores the relationship between exploration and human cognition. The concept inspired real-world expeditions, imaginative literature, and scientific inquiry alike. Explorers like Admiral Byrd symbolize the convergence of observation and imagination, venturing into unknown regions, and whether factually or in legend, encountering experiences that fueled both empirical research and storytelling. In this way, the hollow Earth hypothesis, while scientifically invalid, contributed indirectly to our understanding of Earth and the human fascination with discovery, illustrating that even incorrect ideas can have enduring cultural and intellectual value. Contemporary scientific research into the Earth's interior continues to reveal remarkable and sometimes surprising phenomena. While these findings do not support the notion of a hollow Earth, they offer insights that resonate metaphorically with the imaginative allure of hidden worlds. One prominent example is the discovery of hydrothermal vent ecosystems in the deep ocean. These environments, entirely independent of sunlight, host diverse life forms that rely on chemical energy from the Earth's interior. Such ecosystems demonstrate that life can exist under extreme, hidden conditions, echoing the conceptual fascination with subterranean civilization sustained by an inner sun. Although the mechanism is geothermal rather than literal luminescence, the symbolic parallel is striking. Hidden sources of energy and life exist beyond ordinary perception, sustaining complex systems in darkness. In addition, the study of Earth's magnetic field has revealed dynamic processes within the planet that are largely inaccessible to direct observation. The molten outer core generates a geomagnetic field that shields the surface from cosmic radiation, guiding migratory species and enabling life to flourish. These invisible forces, imperceptible without scientific instrumentation, highlight the richness and complexity of Earth's hidden processes. In this sense, the inner workings of our planet, though physically inaccessible, continue to inspire metaphors of hidden power, unseen guidance, and protective energy, concepts not unlike the inner sun and subterranean civilizations of hollow Earth legend. The metaphorical significance of Earth's internal dynamics extends to human understanding and imagination. The planet's concealed processes can be seen as a reflection of the human psyche, where vast, unseen energies influence behavior, creativity, and perception. Just as geothermal vents or magnetic fields shape the surface environment without being directly visible, internal cognitive and emotional forces shape human experience in profound, yet often hidden ways. Hollow Earth narratives, with their hidden civilizations and inner suns, can therefore be interpreted as allegories for these unseen influences, suggesting that exploration of the external world mirrors the exploration of inner dimensions of consciousness and potential. Cultural interpretations of these discoveries further enrich the narrative. In literature, film, and interactive media, authors often transpose scientific phenomena into imaginative frameworks. Subterranean worlds illuminated by inner suns, guided by advanced civilizations, or sustained by mysterious energies draw inspiration from real scientific processes. Writers and artists translate empirical observations into symbolic representations, blending knowledge and imagination. This creative interplay underscores a broader truth. Even when literal claims are disproven, the underlying ideas retain the power to inspire curiosity, ethical reflection, and aesthetic appreciation. The persistence of hollow earth motifs also reflects broader human epistemological patterns. Humans are naturally inclined to construct narratives that extend beyond empirical evidence, filling gaps with imaginative, symbolic, or moral content. This tendency is not merely a failure of rationality. It serves adaptive functions, providing frameworks for understanding uncertainty, fostering creativity, and motivating exploration. By engaging with hidden worlds, whether imagined, literal, or metaphorical, humans navigate the unknown, cultivate imagination, and confront existential questions in ways that purely empirical approaches cannot fully address. Finally, the enduring resonance of these themes invites a reflective perspective. While empirical science establishes the literal structure of the earth, imagination allows for a symbolic, ethical, and philosophical exploration of the unknown. Hollow Earth legends, inner suns, and subterranean civilizations function as tools for reflection, prompting inquiry into the unseen forces shaping our world and our consciousness. They remind us that the human quest for knowledge is multidimensional, encompassing not only measurement and verification, but also wonder, curiosity, and moral contemplation. In this way, science and speculation coexist, each addressing complementary aspects of human experience: the measurable and the imaginable, the observed and the intuited, the outer reality and the inner truth. The reflection upon the unseen dimensions of the earth and the persistence of imaginative narratives invites us to consider the deeper implications of exploration, both scientific and metaphorical. Modern discoveries about the planet's interior, while empirically grounded, reveal that much of the world operates beyond our immediate perception. Convection currents in the mantle drive continental drift, earthquakes release energy stored deep within the crust, and the molten core generates a magnetic field that shapes life on the surface. These processes, invisible to the naked eye, parallel the metaphorical concept of hidden civilizations and inner suns. Unseen mechanisms sustain life, order, and transformation, and understanding them requires tools, patience, and imagination. In contemplating these hidden forces, one recognizes a profound link between external and internal exploration. Just as geologists, seismologists, and physicists investigate layers of rock, magma, and iron to comprehend planetary dynamics, humans explore layers of consciousness, memory, and emotion to understand personal and collective experience. The inner sun, as a symbolic source of illumination, becomes a bridge between scientific understanding and introspective insight. It reminds us that light, whether literal or metaphorical, can emerge from hidden depths, revealing both external structures and inner truths. The allegorical dimensions of Hollow Earth narratives also encourage ethical and philosophical reflection. The imagined subterranean civilizations often exemplify harmonious societies, technological sophistication, or spiritual enlightenment. By contrasting these ideals with the imperfections of surface life, such stories inspire contemplation of moral progress, social organization, and the potential for human transformation. In this sense, the hidden world serves not merely as a geographical curiosity, but as a mirror for aspiration, challenging us to imagine and work toward better, more conscious ways of living. Moreover, the interplay between empirical science and imaginative speculation illustrates the complementary nature of different modes of knowing. Science provides accuracy, predictability, and understanding of mechanisms, revealing the intricate architecture of the Earth's interior. Speculation, myth, and allegory extend meaning, offering symbolic frameworks through which humans interpret experience, confront uncertainty, and cultivate wonder. The hollow Earth, inner suns, and lost civilizations function within this imaginative domain, emphasizing that human understanding thrives not only on measurement and observation, but also on metaphor, narrative, and reflective inquiry. As one contemplates these ideas, a natural transition emerges from the intellectual and the speculative to the reflective and meditative. Imagining the Earth's inner realms, the flowing energy of its molten core, and the symbolic brilliance of an inner sun invites a contemplative state. The mind, having journeyed through facts, speculation, and metaphor, begins to settle into a rhythm of awareness and wonder. The hidden world beneath our feet becomes a place of both literal and figurative insight, a space where curiosity, imagination, and introspection converge. In this reflective space, the boundaries between science and myth blur, allowing for a serene exploration of both the external universe and the internal landscape of thought and consciousness. Finally, the journey concludes in a quiet, almost meditative awareness. The Earth, with its layers, energies, and hidden mechanisms, continues its dynamic processes independent of human observation. Yet, in the imagination and reflective contemplation of those who study, explore, and dream, these processes take on narrative and symbolic significance. The hollow Earth, though scientifically disproven, endures as a vessel for wonder. The inner sun shines as a metaphor for insight, and the subterranean civilizations persist in cultural memory as symbols of possibility, harmony, and the uncharted potential within the world and within ourselves. As the mind drifts from the factual to the imaginative, a sense of completion and serenity emerges, a bridge between knowledge and contemplation, between discovery and reflection, guiding the listener into a quiet state of thoughtful reverie, akin to a gentle transition toward rest or sleep. In examining the enduring allure of hollow earth narratives alongside the rigor of scientific discovery, one encounters a profound illustration of the human need to reconcile knowledge with imagination. The stories of subterranean civilizations, inner suns, and hidden worlds operate on a symbolic plane, representing not only geographical curiosity, but also the broader human quest for understanding. They invite reflection on unseen forces, both in the literal earth and within consciousness itself, prompting questions about the nature of existence, the limits of perception, and the sources of life, energy, and insight. The persistence of such myths, despite centuries of empirical refutation, suggests that human cognition operates simultaneously in multiple domains. On the one hand, empirical observation, measurement, and analysis provide reliable models of the Earth's interior. On the other hand, narrative, myth, and speculation address dimensions of experience that science alone cannot fully capture. Wonder, aspiration, moral contemplation, and the imaginative exploration of possibility. In this context, hollow earth legends and the concept of an inner sun persist not because they are literally true, but because they fulfill a psychological and cultural need to engage with the unknown, the hidden, and the extraordinary. Modern scientific investigations continue to expand our understanding of the Earth's interior, providing empirical insights that are both awe-inspiring and metaphorically resonant. For instance, the study of mantle plumes, rising columns of hot rock originating deep within the planet, reveals dynamic, almost living processes operating far beneath the surface. These plumes can generate volcanic activity, reshape landscapes, and influence ecosystems. Similarly, the phenomenon of deep-sea hydrothermal vents supports rich ecosystems independent of sunlight, highlighting the capacity for life to flourish under conditions that were once considered inhospitable. Though these discoveries do not confirm the existence of literal hidden civilizations or an inner sun, they resonate with the imaginative vision of a world teeming with life, energy, and complexity beneath the surface. The metaphorical implications are equally significant. Just as Earth's hidden forces shape the surface, unseen psychological and emotional currents influence human experience. The inner sun, within this symbolic framework, represents illumination emerging from obscurity, guiding insight and fostering growth. Subterranean civilizations serve as allegorical representations of potential, wisdom, and harmony that lie beyond ordinary perception. By considering these narratives alongside empirical knowledge, one appreciates the complementary roles of science and imagination. One describes mechanisms, the other interprets meaning, and together they enrich understanding. Culturally, the continued fascination with hidden worlds underscores a broader pattern of myth-making and symbolic exploration. Literature, film, and art have consistently drawn upon the motifs of Hollow Earth, inner suns, and lost civilizations to explore ethical, spiritual, and psychological themes. These creative works often blend empirical plausibility with imaginative speculation, producing narratives that inspire curiosity, reflection, and ethical contemplation. Even when audiences are aware of the scientific impossibility of such worlds, the underlying metaphors, illumination, hidden potential, and the discovery of the unknown retain profound resonance. Finally, the interplay of science, speculation, and reflection invites a contemplative conclusion. Empirical discovery informs, grounds, and constrains our understanding of the world, while imaginative speculation provides avenues for ethical, philosophical, and emotional exploration. In this synthesis, Hollow Earth legends, inner suns, and hidden civilizations function as tools for reflection rather than literal truth. They guide us to consider both the external universe and the internal landscapes of mind and consciousness, fostering wonder, insight, and a meditative awareness of the profound mysteries that surround and permeate existence. In this reflective state, knowledge and imagination converge, preparing the mind for contemplation, rest, and a gentle transition into introspection or sleep. Reflecting on the intersection of scientific understanding and imaginative speculation, it becomes apparent that both approaches are essential to the human experience. Scientific inquiry provides clarity, predictive power, and a reliable model of the Earth's interior. Yet imagination allows us to explore dimensions of meaning, possibility, and moral reflection that empirical data alone cannot reveal. The Hollow Earth narratives, with their inner suns and subterranean civilizations, exemplify this dynamic. They are not literal representations of geological reality, but symbolic frameworks through which humans can grapple with the unseen, the mysterious, and the aspirational. The endurance of these myths also highlights a deeper aspect of human psychology, the desire for hidden knowledge and the hope of discovering realms beyond ordinary perception. The inner sun, as a metaphorical concept, embodies illumination, insight, and life emerging from darkness. Subterranean civilizations represent wisdom, harmony, and potential qualities that human societies aspire to cultivate. Even when the scientific impossibility of these narratives is acknowledged, their symbolic resonance persists because they speak to fundamental human concerns. Understanding the world, exploring the unknown, and realizing hidden capacities within ourselves. Modern technological and scientific advancements continue to offer fascinating parallels to these ancient imaginings. Instruments capable of probing the Earth's interior, such as seismic tomography and magnetotelluric imaging, reveal processes that are as complex and awe-inspiring as the legendary inner worlds. Mantle convection, core dynamics, and geothermal phenomena operate on scales and with energies that challenge intuitive understanding, suggesting that the planet itself possesses hidden life in the form of dynamic processes that shape the surface and sustain ecosystems. These discoveries, while entirely factual and naturalistic, echo the imaginative appeal of subterranean worlds and inner sources of energy. The metaphorical reading of scientific discoveries further deepens their significance. Just as Earth harbors dynamic, unseen forces, the human mind contains layers of consciousness, creativity, and potential that often remain hidden until explored. The inner sun symbolizes insight, clarity, and the emergence of understanding from the depths of awareness. Subterranean civilizations mirror latent capacities within the human psyche, organized, advanced, and harmonious aspects of consciousness awaiting recognition and cultivation. In this sense, the Hollow Earth serves as a narrative bridge, connecting empirical knowledge with ethical, philosophical, and psychological reflection. Cultural narratives continue to reinforce this interplay. Stories of hidden worlds inspire ethical contemplation, creativity, and curiosity. Literature, film, and interactive media frequently reimagine subterranean landscapes as sites of adventure, discovery, and moral inquiry. Even when audiences are aware of their impossibility in a literal sense, these tales function as allegories for exploration, learning, and the quest for knowledge. The blending of imaginative and empirical perspectives highlights a uniquely human capacity to integrate observation with speculation, fact with metaphor, and curiosity with reflection. Ultimately, the enduring fascination with Hollow Earth legends, inner suns, and hidden civilizations underscores a profound truth. The unknown, whether external or internal, drives human inquiry, imagination, and moral reflection. Scientific discoveries illuminate the structure and dynamics of our planet, providing certainty where speculation once prevailed. Yet the metaphorical and symbolic dimensions of hidden worlds continue to enrich human understanding. The interplay of science and imagination fosters a holistic engagement with the mysteries of existence, cultivating wonder, insight, and a contemplative awareness of the unseen forces shaping both the earth and the human mind. As we approach the reflective conclusion of this segment, it becomes apparent that the interplay between scientific knowledge and imaginative speculation offers a unique perspective on human curiosity and consciousness. The empirical study of the Earth reveals a planet alive with hidden energy, dynamic processes, and intricate layers, while speculative narratives, Hollow Earth, inner suns, and subterranean civilizations, provide symbolic frameworks through which humans can interpret these realities. Together, they illuminate both the external world and the inner landscapes of thought, wonder, and moral contemplation. Contemporary discoveries in geology, geophysics, and planetary science invite us to see the Earth as a vibrant, dynamic system. Mantle convection drives plate tectonics, earthquakes release pent-up energy, and the molten core sustains the magnetic field that shields life on the surface. These phenomena are invisible to casual observation, yet they shape every aspect of our planetary environment. In a metaphorical sense, these hidden processes echo the imaginative vision of subterranean worlds with inner suns, highlighting that life, energy, and transformative forces often operate beyond direct perception. This realization fosters both awe and humility, reminding us that much of reality exists beyond the reach of ordinary senses. From a psychological and philosophical perspective, these hidden forces mirror the human condition. Just as the Earth harbors unseen energy shaping its surface, the human mind contains latent capacities, creativity, and insight that influence behavior and perception. The inner sun symbolizes illumination emerging from obscurity, while subterranean civilizations represent harmonized, advanced potential awaiting recognition. By contemplating the hidden workings of both the planet and consciousness, one is invited into a reflective state, where exploration extends inward as well as outward. Science provides the framework, and imagination fills the space with meaning. This reflective journey naturally transitions toward a meditative or contemplative mindset. By visualizing the hidden layers of the Earth, the glow of a symbolic inner sun, and the order of imagined subterranean civilizations, the mind enters a space of calm curiosity. The interplay of light and shadow, surface and depth, known and unknown, mirrors the rhythm of thought, perception, and awareness. The listener or reader is guided gently into a state of introspection, where external knowledge and internal reflection coexist harmoniously, creating a sense of balance and serenity. Finally, the segment closes with a metaphorical drift toward rest. The earth continues its dynamic processes, unseen yet profoundly influential, while the imagination envisions hidden realms filled with light, life, and wisdom. This convergence of science and speculation, fact and metaphor, guides the mind into a tranquil space of contemplation. Here, knowledge and imagination merge, curiosity softens into reflection, and the journey through the mysteries of the earth parallels an inward journey through consciousness. In this meditative state, the listener may feel the gentle glow of an inner sun, the quiet rhythm of hidden civilizations, and the profound serenity of understanding that while much remains unseen, the pursuit of knowledge, insight, and wonder is itself a luminous path, leading ultimately toward a symbolic, contemplative sleep.